Shedeur Sanders disappoints on the preseason finale. The Raiders battle the Cardinals. Guys, here's your preseason finale recap. Let's talk sports. Guys, the final day of preseason is officially over. As I'm recording this podcast, guys, we are officially done with preseason of the NFL. It's been a great 3 weeks, I can't lie to y'all. I mean, the coverage has just been absolutely insane. We got a lot of games to go over today, but I want to give you some overall thoughts of how I'm feeling. You know, I'll be real. I would say some of the best preseason action that we had, on week 3 was probably the first couple of days. Saturday, we were really pushing it. I mean, there were some really boring-ass games today, guys. And I watched a lot of games today. In total, I've watched like 18 games. And Jesus Christ. I tell myself, I'm only going to watch 2 quarters. And then I just end up watching these whole-ass fucking games. And then, that's just how the day goes, guys. But I love doing it. I love watching the preseason football. That's why I love watching it. And that's why I get stuck watching quarters. Even if it's boring games, I really do love me some good old football. Hopefully I'll get some better football in the regular season. Because, guys, I woke up in the morning and I started out my morning watching the Ravens completely destroy the fucking Commanders. The Commanders couldn't even get a touchdown in. I mean, that's how disappointing the Commanders, preseason team was playing. And then another game that was happening was the Indianapolis Colts and the fucking Bengals. And the Bengals have been on like a losing preseason streak at this point. And now the Colts, completely pieced the preseason Bengals by 41 to 14. And then we'll get into this game for sure, is the LA Rams and the Cleveland Browns going against each other. Really great game. I loved watching this game. I actually subbed out because, guys, I am a Lions fan, so I really started my day really tuning into the Lions game. And I was really disappointed watching the Lions game, so I was thinking how we're going to do today's, episode. Let's just get my team out the way. Let's talk about the Lions because I've been covering the preseason Lions this whole entire time. And I'm going to be real, guys. I have been really disappointed in the preseason Lions. This whole performance does have me worried if, some of the star players do go out on the offensive side of the Lions. And then I look at the offensive side on the Lions of the backup section, and I'm like, please, God, never let these guys play any of these football games because they're going to get absolutely destroyed. Now, look, this is what I'll say. Quarter 1, the Lions looked really good quarter 1. And I'll say they only looked good in quarter 1 for 1 touchdown, and then there was a field goal. The Lions overall just, they had one good little scoring touchdown drive. We can go over it right now, guys. Let's go over the recap for that touchdown drive. The Houston Texans, they started out with a field goal. I really liked how the Texans played. The first quarter, they started off with just a field goal. But the second quarter, they changed tune, and they got a couple of touchdowns in and took the lead. So we started off with a 1-yard run from Reynolds, 12-yard pass from Allen, 5-yard pass from Allen, 8-yard pass from Allen, 4-yard run from Reynolds, shotgun, up the middle, 3-yard run, 8-yard pass, 7-yard run, 4-yard run, and then a little deep right pass for a touchdown. And I was like, man, there we go. This is what I wanted. 12 plays, 85 yards. It was a 5-minute drive. It felt like a Lions drive. And I went, yeah, there we fucking go. That's what I want. That's what I want to see from these preseason Lions. And then the second quarter arises, and first of all, let's talk about the defense. I really hope when they do the whole, cutting down the roster, they cut down some of these fucking defensive players. Because what I saw today has been an issue that's been happening the whole entire season. And I thought, okay, look, preseason week 1, all the players, all the backups, they're getting used to back to playing, some football. They've been just in training camp. So, excuse me, I thought I was like, let's give it a pass. And then, the second week comes, and I'm running into the same issue again. The Texans, once again, are just running through this defensive line. I mean, there is Lions defensive players that are so far out in the field. They're too slow to run up and even catch these guys. By the time they get down the field, the Houston Texans already have 5 yards. They already have 10 yards ready to go. And they just keep slowly just killing and chopping away at the Lions' defensive line until they do get a touchdown. You saw that multiple times. And there was a moment. There was a moment from the defense when they, got some blitzes in, when they got some explosive tackles in. And there was one good third down tackle that happened. I was like, okay, this is what we want to see from the Lions defense. And then literally the next play from the Texans, they completely wash over the defensive line. There's only a couple of players on the backup squad that are actually really putting in effort. And the other players, what the fuck are they even doing? I mean, I'm like, holy shit, can you go tackle? Can you run? Can you do anything? I swear to God, there was moments where the Texans were just throwing easy ass wide open passes. What the fuck are we doing? I mean, it is just insane that I'm watching this, and I feel like I'm watching a college football team that's going up against a fucking pro NFL team, and then you're like, well, these are also backups too. Why are backups killing backups like this? I mean, what is happening? Look, I loved how the Texans played, but I have to get on the Lions first because this shit has been driving me crazy. All fucking preseason, the defense has been playing lazily. They've been playing with no effort. There's moments where there's whole quarters where the defense doesn't even feel like they're on the field. They feel like they're just standing there sometimes. I mean, there is crazy-ass Texan plays being done on these Lions backups, and they're not doing a goddamn thing to counter it. I don't know if it's the coaching. I don't know if it's, the new coordinators getting used to the stuff, so, the defensive players are not on the same tune. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but some shit needs to get fixed. So when they cut down this roster, they really need to pick the players that were actually really putting an effort in this preseason. Because there was a lot of preseason players today on the defensive side of the ball. And I will say this too, the offensive side, because you're already such a uninspiring defense. When your offense is also only able to put one scoring drive together, I mean, what the fuck are we doing? So that's one thing. Also the fact too, guys, I can't believe that I watched the Texans just murder the Lions. I mean, goddamn. So let's go over this whole entire game now. Let's talk about the Texan touchdown drive. Starting off with 10 plays, 50 yards. We start off with a 13-yard pass from Mertz, a 2-yard run, a 9-yard run, sets up for a 5-yard pass. We bring the run back for a 2-yard gain, 4-yard pass, 6-yard pass, and then we get a touchdown. Goes up the middle for 9 yards. I mean, beautiful touchdown drive from the Texans. They were playing great. They were just shredding through that defensive line. And then they ramp it up with the next drive, 12 plays, 89 yards, another good 5-minute drive. Mertz gets it for a 7-yard pass. We get another 9-yard pass from Mertz. Then we get a 4-yard run from Marks. He goes up the middle. A 17-yard deep fucking pass to the left for 17 yards. We get an incomplete pass. Some penalties come in. 26-yard pass, 18-yard, incomplete. And then we get a touchdown. They try to do a 2-point conversion, but that fails. But then they end the game off in the fourth quarter with an easy 5-play goddamn touchdown. This shit broke my heart watching this. Just watching that lazy-ass defensive line not even do anything. We start off with 11-yard run. And then Salavis passes short right to D. Jackson for fucking 3 yards and gets a touchdown. and they win this game by a field goal. Texans are going to get a 7 out of 10. I liked how the Texans played. Detroit fucking Lions. The Cowboys were playing better than you in the preseason. The whole preseason. I hope to God this is not a warning sign of what the regular season is looking like. I couldn't imagine, the offense playing like this. But obviously there is something going on with these players, and I really hope the coaching staff, excuse me once again, guys. I really hope the coaching staff actually locks in for the Lions and really gets the right players, gets the right squad, gets the right roster, because I am concerned if my backups for the whole preseason have been playing like this. What the fuck are we doing? 2 out of 10. Both sides of the ball. Jesus. Embarrassing. Embarrassing ass game to watch in the morning. I mean, holy shit. That shit ruined my morning. Now, let's get into some other game recaps, guys, right after the break. Baltimore Ravens taking on the Washington Commanders. They completely destroyed the Commanders. 30-3. They started off with a 16-play, 70-yard touchdown drive. Impressive, guys. We get a 2-yard run, a 6-yard run, a 3-yard pass, 5-yard run, 4-yard run, 1-yard run, 6-yard run. D. Johnson was really playing good in this game already. 2-yard run, 3-yard run, 6-yard pass, a 6-yard run again, and they just kept the run game going until they got that touchdown for 9 yards. They kept it up with another touchdown drive. It was 9 plays this time, 53 yards. K. Rush already starts off with a 13-yard pass. K. Rush then comes in with a 15-yard pass. And I like how, the 1-yard run before sets up this good explosive run, pass play. 22-yard pass 2. I really like that. Big gain. 2-yard run. And then, hey, 1 yard. D. Johnson goes in for 1 yard for a touchdown. And then it just becomes a field goal frenzy to finish off this game, guys. Rating this overall performance, the Baltimore Ravens played great today. All the backups. I mean, the defensive line was crushing those Commanders. You really need to look into some of your roster. I mean, there's definitely something going on in the roster side of things. There's definitely some players that, probably need to get taken off. You need to keep all your good players. And I think you do got some duds. I mean, holy shit. So there is some duds. I will be real with y'all. Few dud players from the Commanders. So I'm going to give, the Commanders, probably just a 2 out of 10. I mean, they need to play a lot better than 3 fucking points to end your preseason off. I mean, at least the Lions got a touchdown. At least they got 7 points. The Commanders got 3 points. But this does not compare to the beating with the next game with the Indianapolis Colts going up against the Bengals. This was 41-14. God damn. I mean, this game, just crazy. The Colts start off pretty simple. They got a field goal, 12-play, drive field goal. Disappointing. You get 12 plays and you just get a field goal. And then Bengals come in with a touchdown. I like how these backups come in. Brightwell comes in. D. Riddler, gets some incomplete passes, but the run game gets going. And then there's a big, explosive 41-yard run from K. Milton. And then we run in for a touchdown up the middle for 1 yard. And then Colts respond, and they start going crazy. Ray Leonard, 16-yard pass, 1-yard run, 13-yard pass from Ray Leonard, 2-yard run, 2-yard pass, 14-yard run, 30-yard pass, 9-yard pass, 6-yard run, touchdown drive. I mean, just touchdown, Bentley to the left, 2 yards. And then they just go on a crazy thing. They have a 5-play touchdown. Then there's a 7-play touchdown in the second quarter. And then there's a 5-play touchdown drive. Third quarter, they pick it up with a nice, crispy 7-play, 58-yard drive, and then they get a 16-play, 98 fucking yards. They completely killed the Bengals. There's no doubt about it, guys. The Bengals have been playing just absolutely terrible this offseason. Joe Burrow, and there was some other players too talking about, we need to get on a good start. This good start has not been working out. I mean, they barely won their last game, and then they get fucking destroyed by the Colts. That is not a good look. Colts will get a 7. Bengals will get they'll get a 4. Jesus. Now, let's get into the game that's one of the main headlines of this podcast, this episode today. Cleveland Browns, the LA Rams take on the Cleveland Browns. This was 17-19. Guys, Shedeur Sanders definitely disappointed. I will be real with you. Now, Dylan Gabriel comes in. Joe Flacco gives some good, drives in, gets a couple of touchdown drives. Dylan Gabriel comes in, does his thing, of course. Then Shedeur Sanders comes in, and, at first we were thinking Shedeur Sanders was not, the blocking wasn't really there, so, he had to keep throwing it out. He was doing some, he was doing some, Lamar stuff right now, he's doing some, pro quarterback, So, you see that, guys. But then Shedeur Sanders starts scrambling out of the pocket, starts completely just fucking up, and leads to the Cleveland Browns start losing this game. And they had to call in another quarterback, the fourth one, his name's let me just see this real quick. Huntley. They bring in Huntley. They replace Shedeur with Huntley, and Huntley's able to get them a field goal to finally finish off this game. But the LA Rams defense was killing Shedeur. I mean, holy shit. So Shedeur did not play good. I mean, this man only got a couple of passes in. So yeah, Shedeur kind of fucked up, and they had to get Huntley to save the day, which is kind of funny. Now, guys, does this mean Shedeur Sanders is going to be terrible, or he might get cut from the Cleveland Browns? I don't think so. I think he will maybe make the roster, but it's the NFL. Anything could happen. So yeah, overall we're gonna rate the LA Rams. I'm gonna rate them, probably just a simple 10 out of 10. I did like their performance, and then Cleveland Browns, I will give a 6. I'll give a 6 for Joe Flacco and Dylan Gabriel doing their thing. Shedeur Sanders is going to bring the score down just by 1 for the overall team. Shedeur, you got to take those L's. So, yeah, you got to take those L's to win actual games, guys. So, nobody expects Shedeur to be perfect. If you're thinking that, you're absolutely losing your goddamn mind thinking that. And then let's go over this quick Denver Bronco and Saints game. This was a pretty close game. I'm not going to say that because quarter 1 it was 3 points and Saints had 6. But then quarter 2, Broncos had 13 and Saints were only able to get 3. 0 in quarter 3, and then Broncos get 6 and another 6. And they're able to close this game out by 28-19. So the Saints completely busted, but I really enjoyed how the Denver Broncos defense played today. I like the aggressiveness. I like the way they were getting at the ball. It was really fun to watch. I love seeing the Broncos win, guys. Originally one of my favorite NFL teams on, one of the old days. The old days of the Broncos when I used to, play Madden 98 or Madden 99 or Madden 2000. And I would, play the Broncos. And, I've always had, some nostalgia for this team. So I always want to see this team succeed a little bit. As long as they're not going against the Lions, that's a different thing. I'm sorry, Broncos. I'm a changed man now. I'm not a Broncos fan. But yeah, 28-19. Hey, Broncos are going to get they're going to get an 8. I like their defense. I like how they're coming in this preseason. Saints are going to get a 4. The Saints just look so uninspired, guys. People are telling me the Saints might be good. People are saying the Saints could be good this year because they got, Rattler and they got Tyler Shook. Oh, Lord, guys. I can't. But another team that completely just got destroyed was the Seahawks going against the Packers. So let's talk about that team right after the break. Seahawks couldn't do a goddamn thing, and they lost like 4 injured players, which is really sad to see. They had like 4 injured players, and the Green Bay Packers just kept killing them. I mean, it was getting bad. It was getting bad, guys. Let's go over the recap for you. By the way, the Seahawks don't get a touchdown till quarter 4. Yeah. Green Bay Packers get a touchdown and a field goal. Green Bay Packers get a touchdown and a field goal in quarter 2. Nothing on quarter 3. And then nothing on quarter 4, but their defense was just so good. Their defense was just playing so well. I mean, it was just crazy. Seahawks, what the fuck happened? The dominant preseason Seahawks were not very dominant today. 4 out of 10. They need to play a lot better. Green Bay Packers will get a 6. But Green Bay didn't even play that good anyways. They gave up like the first 2 quarters. It was just defense. The next game, which was so close, was 6-14. Jaguars and Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins easily got the dub. The Jaguars, they got a touchdown, but they missed a field goal. So that's all you need to say about the Jaguars. 2 out of 10 for the Jaguars. Miami, Miami is Miami. They're not that good. So I'll give them, a 5 at the max. If it's only 14. They could have played a lot better against the Jaguars. It's the goddamn Jaguars. Come on, guys. The next game, which just, was a pretty decent game. It was actually pretty close, I would say. It was the Buffalo Bills against the Buccaneers, guys. 23-19. Quarter 1, we started out with a Buffalo touchdown. Quarter 2, we got a good, nice, crispy Buffalo touchdown and field goal, but Buccaneers respond with a touchdown and field goal of their own. And then quarter 3, we get 6 points from the Bills, 3 points from the Buccaneers, 0 from the Bills, and only 6 from the Buccaneers, which caused the Bills to actually win a preseason game. If you don't know, the Bills been playing terrible this preseason. The Bills just been playing pretty ass, in my opinion. So I'm glad they got a win. This bumps their score up to like 5. Good job, Bills. Buccaneers, I'll give them a 5 too. Buccaneers play pretty decent too. The last 2 games on the schedule, guys, for last of the preseason was the Chargers against the 49ers. It was a close game at the start. We had no points in the first quarter. Second quarter, we had the Chargers, 13 going in. And then, 49ers only had 6. And then quarter 3, the 49ers got 10. Chargers could only get 10 in the quarter 4. 49ers were able to get 14 points, which is just insane. 49ers offense played great at clutch situations. Chargers, they prevailed, but, they couldn't prevail all the way. So Chargers are going to get, and 49ers, they're going to get a 7 out of 10. I think the 49ers played really good. So, yeah, 49ers played pretty decent. I like how they played. And, yeah, overall, I think this was a pretty all-right game in my opinion, guys. Now, let's move on to the final game, which this was a pretty exciting game at the start, the first half. And then Cardinals completely destroyed the Raiders. But Raiders versus Cardinals, this was a pretty close game. It was just, tied up by a field goal by 2 teams for the first couple of quarters. And let's go over, the winning drive, in my opinion, which was this touchdown drive in the fourth quarter. It was 93 yards, only 4 plays. It was a 26-yard pass from Toon. It was a deep right pass, and then it was an easy 67-yard run touchdown. That's just crazy. And then Cardinals, all they needed was a field goal to win this game. So it is disappointing for Raiders losing their lead. Raiders, I'm going to give a 5. Cardinals, they'll get a 5. They played okay, but they were able to win. So yeah, guys, that's the preseason of Week 3. All of the action that happened today, guys. Preseason is officially over, too. We'll actually get into some real football, and we'll really be able to start talking, guys. I mean, this is only the beginning of the show. We got so much more stuff coming. Guys, make sure you follow my Pandora people. You know, we're dropping NFL content every single weekend, so you need to check out all that. And then my Spotify people, if you're on YouTube, wherever you get your podcast at, make sure you follow, turn on notifications, guys. I'll see y'all later. Have a good one. Bye.